Stop scrolling right now. Yes, I am speaking directly to you, my beloved child. You are holding your phone with weary hands and a heavy heart. You feel a sudden strange pull inside your chest because this encounter was arranged before the foundations of the world. Do not treat this sacred moment like an ordinary video on your screen. Listen to my voice with your whole heart. This is not a random message, but a divine lifeline sent directly to your living space. Heaven has declared an emergency over your life today. And if you step away right now out of distraction, you will miss the very turning point you have been praying for during your darkest nights. I know how exhausted you are. You carry heavy responsibilities without complaint every day. You smile for everyone while your soul bleeds in secret. You have spent months calling your emotional numbness peace and your silent endurance maturity. But I see the deep weariness that visits you when the house grows quiet and the lights go out. You are my royal child. Your journey is not a series of accidental tragedies. Every door that slammed in your face was closed by my hand to protect you from unseen betrayal. And every delay you endured was not my denial, but a secret construction meant to expand your capacity for the overwhelming blessing that is coming. Look around you right now. The spiritual realm is shaking over your head. Something that formed quietly behind the scenes is about to break into your physical reality. And a massive shift has been set in motion concerning your life and your lineage within the next 72 hours that will shatter the heavy atmosphere of fear. Do not let the enemy convince you to turn your heart aside right now. The adversary knows that something foundational is shifting over your roof today. He will throw subtle distractions at your mind to make you quit, and he wants you to remain blind, exhausted, and trapped forever in the endless loop of yesterday and tomorrow. I need your complete and undivided attention. Give your spirit a quiet place right now. Listen closely to what heaven is decreeing over your destiny. You were not created to walk through this world with your head bowed and your spirit crushed under the heavy weight of financial decay or emotional isolation. You carry royal blood in your spiritual veins. Before your mother even knew you were growing, I placed an extraordinary strength deep within your DNA. The world called you weak. They said that because you choose peace over conflict, but I call you my chosen warrior who was refined in the furnace of the dark wilderness. I saw you last week. I watched you stare at your phone in the quiet dark of the night. I counted every single tear you swallowed in the shower so your loved ones would not worry. And you felt utterly alone in that quiet space, wondering if anyone truly saw your pain or understood the suffocating pressure resting on your shoulders. I was there beside you. I stayed in that silent room. Your secret tears were never lost or forgotten. I held your trembling heart when you felt like giving up, and every single drop was collected in my heavenly bottle as a holy testimony for your coming restoration. Tonight, the boundary line is being drawn. The long cycle of generational lack ends with you. The sudden setbacks and silent heartache are over. You were chosen out of your entire lineage to stand as the ultimate chain breaker, and the heavy burden you carry right now is simply the birth pangs of your divine authority. I am breaking my silence today. I love you too much to let you bleed in secret any longer. What I am about to reveal is the exact key that unlocks your sealed portal. And if you turn your heart away right now, you will leave your living vessel completely unguarded against the rising storms of this chaotic world. Stay still with me right now. Take a deep breath. Let the noise of this world fade away into absolute silence. The door of opportunity I opened for your life is closing faster than you realize, and heaven is waiting for your immediate alignment before the clock strikes midnight. Look past the temporary emptiness of your hands tonight. Focus your spiritual eyes on my promise. The weapon forged against you will fail. The locked gates will crumble to dust, and the very hands that pushed you down will soon watch me prepare a lavish table for you in plain sight. If your spirit recognizes my voice right now, do not scroll away. Give me your hands. Surrender your heavy burdens at this altar. Prepare your heart right now to receive the final critical message that changes your entire trajectory forever. Let us step into the quiet dark where nobody else can follow you. I want to speak directly to the hidden moments you keep buried from the rest of the world. You think you are hiding your pain well behind that polite smile you wear every morning. but I see the quiet moments when the mask falls off completely, and every night when the noise of the day finally fades away, the heavy reality of your struggle returns to sit directly on your chest. I see you waking up in the middle of the night. It happens around 3 a.m. when the entire house is asleep. You lie there staring at the ceiling in the dark. Your mind starts racing with thoughts you cannot control. And while everyone around you breathes peacefully, you are quietly fighting a silent panic about tomorrow. You reach for your phone with trembling fingers. You unlock the screen just to check your bank account again. You already know the numbers by heart. But you keep checking because you are desperately searching for a miracle or a sign of hope. You feel a tight knot in your stomach as you look at those numbers. You work hard every single day. You give your time, your energy, and your health to fulfill your obligations. Yet somehow, your resources keep leaking away, like water poured into a cracked vessel. Every time you manage to save a little money, an unexpected expense appears to wipe it all away. And you wonder why your honest labor never seems to produce lasting fruit. It feels like a spiritual blockade is standing in your way. You feel trapped in an endless cycle of working just to pay for past mistakes or basic survival. You watch other people move forward while you remain stuck in the exact same financial desert. You ask yourself what you did wrong to deserve this constant lack. But I tell you today that this leak is not your personal failure. I know about the tears you cry in private. I see you stepping into the bathroom when the pressure becomes too heavy to carry. You turn on the shower so the sound of running water hides your quiet sobs. You lean against the wall and let the tears stream down your face. And you quickly wipe your eyes with a towel so nobody outside will notice your heartbreak. You put your mask back on before you step back out. You tell your family that you are just tired from a long day. You tell your friends that everything is fine when they ask how you are doing. You carry the emotional burdens of everyone around you while nobody asks if your own heart is breaking. You have become the strong pillar for others while feeling completely hollow inside. This silent endurance has drained your spiritual breath. You feel exhausted down to the very marrow of your bones. You wonder how much longer you can keep pretending before everything crumbles around you. And in your quietest moments, a dark whisper tells you that nobody truly cares about your pain or sees your silent sacrifice. I am breaking my silence tonight to expose that lie. I have recorded every single tear you washed away in secret. I counted every quiet sigh you swallowed so you would not burden others. The world sees only your outer strength, but I see the wounded warrior bleeding behind the armor. You are not invisible to me, my precious child. Look at your journey through my eyes for a moment. You think you are failing because your hands feel empty tonight, but I allowed your human strength to reach its absolute limit so you would stop relying on your own understanding. The brokenness you feel right now is not your destruction. It is the necessary clearing of your old foundation before my glory takes over. You have tried to fix your life with your own strategies. You tried working longer hours, planning tighter budgets, and carrying the world on your shoulders. Yet the heavy fog of anxiety refused to lift from your mind. That is because the solution to your spiritual battle cannot be found in secular hustle. You cannot heal a spiritual wound with physical effort alone. I am pulling you into this quiet chamber right now to give you rest. Stop striving with your physical strength. Let your shoulders drop and let your hands loosen their tight grip on your problems. I did not design your living temple to carry this suffocating weight alone. I am taking the heavy yoke off your neck tonight and replacing it with my perfect peace. Your financial desert is not your permanent address. The leaks in your resources were permitted to teach you that worldly systems will always fail you. I am closing those hidden cracks in your vessel right now, and I am preparing a clean space within your spirit so you can receive the generational harvest that was reserved for your lineage. Listen carefully as the atmosphere in your room begins to shift. The heavy spirit of heaviness that sat on your chest every morning is losing its legal right over your life. You do not have to carry the burden of yesterday into your tomorrow anymore. The season of silent weeping in the dark is coming to an end. Stop calling your emotional numbness peace. Stop convincing yourself that silent endurance is maturity. You have spent years wearing a heavy mask of self-sufficiency because the last time you opened your heart you were deeply betrayed. You tell everyone that you are fine. You say it so often that you almost believe the lie yourself. But I see the small cracks inside your soul that you try so hard to hide from the world. And behind your forced smile lies a weary spirit that is desperate for real rest. You do not have to perform for me. You do not need to look successful or strong when you stand in my presence. The world demands that you look polished every single day. People expect you to handle every crisis without showing a single moment of weakness. So you put on your heavy armor every morning and step out into a battlefield that slowly drains your life force. You carry their expectations, while your own living temple crumbles beneath the pressure. Take off that heavy coat of performance right now. I do not require a perfect vessel with no flaws or scars. I only look for a surrendered heart that is willing to be honest at my altar. You have spent so much energy pretending to have everything under control. You worry that if people saw your true exhaustion, they would judge you or walk away. But my love is not dependent on your human strength or your earthly achievements. Now I must address the dark shadow that has troubled your spirit for months. You have felt my silence during your most desperate moments. You cried out for a clear sign in the dark and heard nothing but the quiet echo of your own voice. You thought my silence meant abandonment. You believed I turned my face away from your pain. You felt left to random chance. But I am correcting that deadly lie deep inside your spirit today. My silence was never my absence. My quietness was a strategic security protocol declared over your life. When an earthly ruler prepares a massive release of wealth or power, he locks the gates and clears the room of all unauthorized noise. I quieted the atmosphere around you to isolate you from the wolves lurking near your path. I placed a spiritual lockdown over your house to protect your anointed oil from those who wanted to drain your light. Look past your natural understanding and see the divine strategy at work. Every door that was slammed in your face was locked by my own sovereign hand. You wept over those closed doors because you thought they represented failure. You felt rejected when those partnerships dissolved and those friendships grew cold. But those locks were turned to shield your heart from deep betrayals that would have destroyed your future. I removed those people because they could not go where I am taking you. You are not a victim of a cruel world. You are my royal child undergoing an intensive preparation in the dark. A seed must be buried in the quiet earth before it can burst through the surface as a fruitful tree. You felt crushed by the heavy soil of your current circumstances, but you were not being buried to die. You were being planted in my secret place so your roots could grow deep into the unshakable rock of my word. Stop begging for crumbs at secular tables that you were legally born to own. Remember whose royal blood runs through your spiritual veins tonight. You were not created to live as a helpless survivor who merely manages to pull through another difficult week. Before the foundations of this world were laid, I wrote your name in my book of royal heirs. The current emptiness of your hands is temporary, but the weight of your eternal inheritance can never be shaken. The delay you have endured was not my denial, it was the hidden construction required to expand your vessel. If I had released the full weight of your harvest 2 years ago, your cracked vessel would have shattered under the pressure. I allowed the heat of the furnace to intensify, so every impurity could be swept away. I refined your patience, purified your motives, and rebuilt your character in the quiet darkness where no one was watching. Your spiritual vessel is now ready for the overflow. The old foundations of sand have completely crumbled away. Your feet are firmly set upon solid rock. Do not run back to what is familiar out of a sudden fear of emptiness. Do not lower your standards or return to toxic places just to escape the quietness of this season. Stay inside my presence and prepare your heart to behold the massive salvation that I am unveiling before your eyes. Listen to the quiet confidence returning to your chest right now. The suffocating weight of self-reliance is lifting from your shoulders. You do not have to fix your life by yourself anymore. The sovereign ruler of the universe is governing your steps with absolute precision. Stand tall as the royal heir I created you to be, and let my peace flood your entire living temple like clean air. Understand that your current stagnation is not a random tragedy. It is a divine construction unfolding in real time with absolute precision. You look around and see only locked doors and empty hands. But behind the veil, my hand is laying a new foundation within your soul. You cannot build a massive palace upon shallow sand, and every trial you endure is driving your roots deeper into my unshakable word. Remember young Joseph in the ancient scriptures. He received a glorious vision of stars bowing down to his throne. He carried an anointed coat of many colors given by his loving Father. But before that vision manifested in the physical realm, he was cast into a dry pit by his own blood brothers. He felt betrayed, isolated, and completely abandoned in the cold dirt. His brothers stripped him of his beautiful coat without mercy. They sold his freedom for 20 pieces of silver to passing merchants. He wept bitterly as the slave caravan pulled him away into a foreign land. He wondered why the God of his fathers allowed such cruel betrayal by those he loved. Yet that dark pit was not his grave. It was his designated doorway to royal authority. In Egypt, Joseph was falsely accused by the wife of Potiphar. He was thrown into a dark prison cell for years without a trial. He served men who quickly forgot his kindness after they were released. Yet every single level of his suffering was secretly building his capacity to govern an empire. If he had never entered the prison, he would never have walked into the palace of Pharaoh to manage the national harvest. Listen with your whole heart right now, for what I am unraveling is your wilderness blueprint. You are standing in the pit of Joseph today. You felt the sharp sting of betrayal when those you trusted turned away. And you watched your colorful dreams get stripped away by sudden circumstances that you could not control or prevent with your human wisdom. I allowed you to enter this dry pit to isolate you from worldly noise. The pit removed your reliance on human praise and forced you to look upward. You thought you were trapped in a dark dungeon of defeat, but you were actually enrolled in the private academy of heaven, where royal leaders are forged in secret before they rule in public. A warrior who has never survived the dark wilderness cannot manage a kingdom without the discipline of trial. Sudden wealth would corrupt your living temple and ruin your family lineage. The heavy pressure you feel right now is sweeping away your pride and self-reliance. I am refining your gold in the furnace so you can hold immense blessings without losing your soul. The prison walls could not hold Joseph when his appointed hour arrived. In a single moment, my decree lifted him from the dungeon to the highest seat of power. Pharaoh placed his own royal ring on the finger of Joseph. The very brothers who threw him into the dirt eventually traveled miles to bow before his throne and ask for food to survive the great famine. Your season of silent weeping in the pit is coming to a sudden close. The adversaries who counted you dead will soon watch me exalt your living vessel. They believed they were ending your story when they pushed you down. But they were merely acting as unconscious instruments in my hand to propel you directly into your royal assignment and generational breakthrough. Do not resent the dryness of your current location. The pit was necessary to strip away your false dependencies. You are being transformed from a vulnerable child into an anointed steward of kingdom wealth. I am closing the hidden leaks in your spiritual vessel while you wait in this sacred place, so that when the windows of heaven open, your harvest will remain secure. Look beyond the dark stone walls of your prison cell tonight. The spiritual lock has already been turned by my sovereign authority. The time of refinement is finishing its work inside your heart. Prepare your hands to receive the keys of governance, for the gate between your wilderness and your inheritance is collapsing before your very eyes. You have wept over your lost seasons for far too long. You thought that those wasted years in the dark meant that your destiny was canceled forever. But I am the God who restores the years that the locusts have eaten. Every single day you spent in suffering will be repaid with a double portion of joy, authority, and unshakable financial peace. Stand firm in this sacred appointment right now. Do not let fear or impatience drive you back into the false comfort of the world. You are on the exact threshold of your royal awakening. Hold your head high as my chosen warrior, and let your spirit settle into the absolute certainty that your promotion is already sealed in heaven. Feel the royal blood pulsing in your spiritual veins right now. You were chosen out of your entire bloodline to be the one who finally screams no more to generational lack. For 3 generations, your family has carried a heavy chain of financial fear and broken dreams. An invisible wall always pulled them back into the dirt. And every time someone in your lineage tried to rise, that old spirit of failure fought to destroy their hope before they could reach their harvest. That dark cycle ends with your living vessel tonight. The spirit of poverty claimed your household. It watched your parents labor without rest, and it tried to pass that same heavy yoke onto your shoulders before I stepped into your story. But I placed a holy fire inside your spiritual DNA. You are not the victim of your ancestral past. Look at your position in the spiritual realm with open eyes. You are the designated chain breaker of your entire bloodline. Every tear you cried was an intercession for your children. And every trial you survived in the dark desert was actually forged to build the spiritual authority required to shatter the legal claims of darkness over your family name. You carry the royal mandate of heaven. Stop begging for crumbs at secular tables tonight. Remember who you are in my royal courts. You are my crowned child. And while the world tried to label you as weak because of your quiet spirit, I call you my refined warrior who walks with the full backing of heavenly hosts behind every single step. You walk with sovereign authority. I am restoring your stolen identity right now. The enemy stripped your confidence in the dark. He wanted you to feel small and abandoned. He tried to convince your heart that your future was ruined, but I am placing my royal signet ring back onto your finger and covering your shoulders with my robe of victory. Your season of shame is over. No longer will you walk with your head bowed low. Square your shoulders in my presence. Stand tall as my royal ambassador on this earth. The financial drought that suffocated your household for years is breaking today because the sovereign ruler of the universe has declared a full release of kingdom resources over your lineage. Every legal claim against you is erased. Your children will not inherit your past struggles. They will walk on smooth paths paved by your prayers. They will not cry the silent tears you wept at night. And they will inherit the overflowing storehouses, the spiritual peace, and the royal authority that you secured through your faithful endurance in the furnace of refinement. You are establishing a multi-generational harvest. Listen to the sound of ancient chains snapping over your roof. The heavy spirit of delay has lost its legal right. Your secret weeping has ended. And when you open your mouth to pray tonight, heaven records your words as binding decrees that cannot be revoked by any earthly power or dark force. Your royal inheritance is legally secured. Bring your exhausted heart to my holy altar. Let my presence heal your broken spirit. You fought a long battle in the quiet wilderness. You carried the heavy burdens of your entire household while your own soul was starving for rest. But tonight my living water is washing away every trace of weariness from your living temple. Your strength is fully renewed. The adversaries who counted you dead will soon stand in awe. They watched you fall into the dry pit. They assumed your story ended in failure. They did not know that I was using the dark soil to bury your old weaknesses, and they will soon watch in absolute silence as I lift your head and exalt your position before the world. Your restoration will be visible to all. Receive the fresh oil pouring over your head right now. This oil breaks every heavy yoke from your neck. It heals the deep scars inside your heart. You are no longer defined by the temporary emptiness of your hands, because your true identity is anchored in the eternal promises that I spoke over your bloodline before the foundation of time. You are my anointed child. Step out of the dark shadow of fear today. Claim your rightful place in my royal kingdom. The gate of poverty is permanently closed behind you. And as you walk forward into this new season of favor, heaven is clearing every obstacle from your path so that you can fulfill the divine assignment reserved specifically for your name. Your royal destiny begins tonight. Wake up right now. I command your sleeping spirit to wake up at this exact hour. The spiritual warfare over your roof has reached its maximum intensity. The enemy knows that your hour of breakthrough is sitting right at your doorstep, and he is desperately working behind the scenes to throw a heavy cloud of spiritual sleepiness over your eyes before the clock strikes midnight. Listen to my voice with absolute vigilance. The most dangerous weapon of the dark realm is not a roaring lion, but a quiet whisper of delay. The enemy comes to your mind with gentle lies. He whispers that you can pray tomorrow. He tells you to rest and wait until your feelings align. But I tell you today that delayed obedience is simply rebellion, wearing the clever mask of human reason. How much longer will you negotiate with the spirit of poverty? How many years will you allow the spirit of fear to dictate the boundaries of your household? You have tolerated the intruder for far too long. You made peace with your chains and called it patience, but my holy fire is burning through that false comfort to ignite the fierce warrior within your soul today. I declare war over every demonic assignment targeting your lineage. The heavy yoke of ancestral debt breaks into pieces right now. The spirit of infirmity that attacks your body in the dark must bow its head and leave your living temple. Every witchcraft decree and every silent curse spoken against your name is neutralized by the living power of my holy blood. Draw your spiritual sword right now. Stop standing in the corner like a helpless victim while the adversary steals your peace. You carry my royal name in your spiritual mouth. Open your lips and command every dark spirit to pack its bags and leave your living room, because where my holy presence dwells, darkness has absolutely no legal authority to remain. Look at the enemy trembling under your feet today. The adversary thought he had locked you in a dungeon of endless fatigue. He counted on your silence. He assumed that your spirit was too exhausted to fight back. But he failed to realize that the Lion of Judah was quietly sleeping inside your chest, and that roar is waking up with explosive power right now. The legal contract of delay over your finances is officially void. The invisible hand that intercepted your opportunities is cut off by my sovereign sword. I am breaking the legal claims of every generational curse that followed your family line for decades. The spirit of lack is evicted from your bank account, and the boundary lines of your inheritance are expanding. Rise up from your ashes and put on your spiritual armor. You were not saved to sit in a corner and weep over your wounds forever. You were forged in the furnace of trials to become a terrifying threat to the kingdom of darkness. Every gate of brass that resisted your progress is melting under the intense heat of my holy fire tonight. Do not compromise with your old habits for another single second. The spirit of delay wants to lure you back into toxic relationships and mindless distractions. It wants to drain your anointed oil before you step into your royal assignment. But I command you to sever those unholy ties right now and step clean out of the graveyard of your past. Feel the sudden surge of holy boldness taking over your mind. The suffocating spirit of anxiety is fleeing from your chest. The dark fog that blurred your spiritual vision is dissolving under my bright light, and your eyes are receiving clarity to see the strategic path I have prepared before your feet. The enemy lost his grip over your future tonight. He spent years trying to ruin your confidence and break your spirit, but every single blow he aimed at your life was redirected by my protective hand to build your endurance. The very trial that was meant to destroy your household has become the ultimate weapon of your triumph. I issue an emergency mandate over your spiritual atmosphere. No longer will you tolerate the subtle leaks in your peace or the quiet destruction of your joy. Stand your ground like an unshakable pillar. Let your spirit roar with absolute authority, because the battle belongs to the Almighty, and the victory over your entire lineage is already sealed in blood. Lift your hands right now and claim your complete victory. The chains are falling off your wrists with a loud clatter. The heavy iron doors of your prison are bursting open under my mighty touch. Step out of the dark dungeon of fear with bold confidence and take possession of the royal territory that was legally set aside for your name before time began. Lord, I come into your sacred presence tonight with an open heart. I bring my exhausted spirit to your altar without any masks or performance. I am tired of pretending to be strong when my heart is breaking inside. And as I bow before your holy throne right now, I let every heavy burden drop from my trembling hands into your gentle care. Heavenly Father, I take off the heavy armor of self-reliance that I wore for so many years. I tried to fix my life with my own limited strength, I tried to carry the weight of my entire household on my shoulders. And every time I failed, I allowed fear and shame to tell me that I was completely abandoned in the dark wilderness. Forgive me for doubting your sovereign love during my darkest hours. Forgive me for calling your silence absence and mistaking your divine delay for rejection. I confess that my natural eyes saw only closed doors and dry deserts. But tonight, my spiritual eyes are opening to behold the secret work you were doing inside my soul all along. I surrender my need to control tomorrow. I release every anxiety about my bank account, my career, and the future of my family line. I lay down my frantic plans at your feet, and I trust that the God who holds the vast universe in his hands is more than able to hold my fragile life with absolute precision. Cleanse my living temple with your living water right now. Wash away every bitter memory of betrayal that hardened my heart against others. I release every person who hurt me in the dark. I forgive those who stripped my confidence and walked away when I needed them most, because your forgiveness has set my soul free from their toxic chains. Heal the deep scars hidden inside my chest. I bring you the quiet tears I washed away in the shower where nobody else could see my pain. I bring you the tight knot of anxiety that kept me awake at 3 a.m. in the quiet dark. Touch my wounded spirit with your warm hand of restoration, and let your holy peace flood my entire body like clean air. I yield my ego to the fire of your refinement today. Burn away every trace of pride, self-pity, and worldly ambition from my mind. I do not want to build my own temporary kingdom anymore. I only desire to be a clean, surrendered vessel that holds your glory and carries your royal blessings to a broken world. Pour your fresh oil over my head right now. Let that anointed oil flow down over my shoulders and seep into every wounded cell of my living temple. My human strength is completely renewed in your presence. The heavy spirit of heaviness is leaving my lungs, and the sweet atmosphere of your living breath is filling my entire home. I receive my royal identity with deep gratitude tonight. I am no longer a helpless survivor hiding behind a mask of forced smiles. I am your beloved child. I carry royal blood in my spiritual veins, and I step out of the dark shadows of my past with unshakable confidence in the eternal promises you wrote for my lineage. I speak peace to my mind right now. I command every chaotic thought to fall silent before the authority of your word. My heart is firmly anchored in your love. My feet are planted on the solid rock of your truth, and no sudden storm or earthly trial can ever shake the foundation you built inside my spirit. I surrender my financial fears at your altar tonight. I stop looking at the temporary emptiness of my hands, and I lift my eyes to your infinite storehouses in heaven. You are my provider, you are my shelter, and I know that every leak in my resources is closed forever because your favor is surrounding my household like a shield. I declare that my family line is redeemed from generational lack. I speak health over my physical body, restoration over my relationships, and divine order over every chaotic area of my life. The chains of poverty and silent weeping are legally broken tonight, and I step into the wide open place of your abundance. Thank you for choosing me to be the chain breaker of my bloodline. Thank you for using my wilderness journey to forge my spiritual authority. I give you all the glory for every door you locked and every door you opened. My life belongs entirely to you, and my hands are open to receive the overflowing harvest you prepared. Lord, I rest in your sovereign shadow tonight. The long night of weeping is over, and your morning joy is flooding my entire soul. I rest my weary head on your chest, knowing that my battle is won and my future is legally secured in heaven. I surrender everything I am into your loving hands forever. My soul finds absolute rest in your holy presence. I step away from the striving, the worry, and the noise of this chaotic world. I wrap myself in your unfailing grace, and I rest in the sweet certainty that your love will never leave me or forsake me. I am safe in your arms, my heavenly Father. The atmosphere over your household has shifted completely tonight. You are stepping out of this quiet sanctuary with a light heart and a renewed spirit. But my child, you cannot leave this holy altar unguarded as you return to the world. The enemy waits outside your door to steal the peace you just received. And you must establish a permanent spiritual guard post over your living room right now before you close your eyes to sleep. I am calling you to dedicate your living temple as a permanent sanctuary of my light. Do not let the frantic noise of tomorrow pollute the quiet chamber of your heart. When you wake up in the morning, remember that you carry royal blood in your spiritual veins. You are no longer the exhausted survivor who begs for mended crumbs at secular tables. You walk forward as my empowered heir, and every boundary line of your inheritance is legally protected by my sovereign decree. Now, take a concrete physical step of faith to seal this covenant before you step away from this screen. Leave the sacred numbers 777 in the comments right now as a binding mark over your bloodline. When those numbers leave your fingers and appear below, you are not merely typing on a digital screen. You are executing a legal decree in the physical realm that your long season of silent weeping is officially broken forever. Let the spiritual realm record your legal acceptance of this turning point. Type those numbers with bold confidence and declare out loud that your household belongs to the light. Every time you leave your name at this altar, you place a holy mark on your boundary line that the dark realm cannot cross. The adversary knows that your word is sealed, and every legal claim of poverty over your lineage dissolves into dust at this exact hour. Do not leave your living vessel unguarded against the rising storms of this chaotic world. Subscribe to this sacred sanctuary right now and turn on the notification bell as your permanent mark of covenant alignment. When you press that button, you are establishing a spiritual altar in your home that remains active day and night. You ensure that your spiritual ears stay attuned to my fresh releases before the world tries to pull your mind away. Your free will must draw the physical line of protection today. The world offers temporary distractions, but my sanctuary offers unshakable peace for your weary soul. By anchoring your spirit to this holy space, you place your entire family under my protective shadow. You will receive the timely warnings, the prophetic lifelines, and the spiritual strength required to navigate every wilderness that stands between you and your promise. Look at the altar you have built in your heart tonight. It is built on the solid rock of my living word. No storm can tear down what my hand has constructed within your spirit. When anxiety tries to knock on your door tomorrow, you will look at that door and declare that the sovereign God of the universe lives inside your house. The dark fog of fear has lost its voice in your presence. Share this lifeline with one weary soul who is fighting a silent battle in the dark tonight. Be the physical vehicle of deliverance that my hands use to wake up another sleeping warrior. When you reach out your hand to lift a broken heart, you release a fresh wave of my favor over your own household. The seeds of kindness you scatter into the lives of others will return to your hands as a bountiful harvest. As you lay your head upon your pillow tonight, let my sweet peace flood your entire mind. The suffocating weight of financial anxiety has no power over your sleep anymore. I am sending my holy angels to encamp around your roof while you rest. They will watch over your living room, guard your sleeping children, and drive away every dark whisper that tries to disturb your quiet sanctuary. Your 72-hour window of transformation begins right now. Walk with your head held high as my royal warrior. Look past the temporary emptiness of yesterday and fix your eyes on the glorious expansion that I am unveiling before your path. The chains of generational lack are broken into pieces. The dry pit is behind you forever, and the gates of your royal inheritance are standing wide open. Remember that I am with you in every quiet moment. You will never have to walk through the dark wilderness alone again. My presence will be the pillar of fire that guides your steps through the night, and my favor will be the morning light that illuminates your victory. You are stepping into a season where every seed you planted in tears will produce a double portion of joy. Receive my final blessing as you go into your quiet night. May my sovereign grace surround your path like a shield of fire. May my living water refresh every cell in your temple, and may my unmerited favor open every locked door before your feet. You are deeply loved, eternally kept, and fully restored by my mighty hand. Sleep in perfect peace, my beloved child, for your victory is sealed in heaven forever.